Alright, go ahead.
Anyway, the first problem I had with this film was, I think this, even though the acting was great by Mr. Alba, I felt this movie was a little slow paced. I think maybe it was 15 minutes too long in getting to the end point of this movie. Unlike those movies like Jacob Ladder or The Manchurian Candidate, where it was developing a certain pattern in the movie, this one already had that pattern, and it just kept going on and on with the same 360 going over and over. There was nothing new adding to the element of the movie. So within like 30 minutes, I even mentioned to my friend who was with me at the time, I said, this is a dream sequence type of problem. And that's the problem I had with this movie. It was not as, what do you call it? What's that word I'm looking for? It didn't build up any tension. It just kept going on and on with the same momentum. It didn't like create a momentum of tension or suspense. Once you knew what the movie was about, it just kept it at the same level and didn't turn. It didn't give you any like surprise until the last minute of the movie. Then there was a big surprise, which I'm not going to give away the ending, because if I give
no, we're not going to give away the ending.
Because the ending is pretty much closes the whole movie, but it still leaves you with a suspense. But within the whole movie, it didn't even have that suspense and didn't have that tension that like most movies like Jacob Ladder had, that Manchurian Candidate with the 1960 version, not the Denzel Washington version, because that 1990 version was a piece of shit. I'm sorry. I had to say that.
Sorry, Denzel.
Wait, Denzel, I love Denzel.
He was good in it.
He was good, but that movie was a waste. I know movies like the classics should not be remade or even touched by beneath directors. This movie, the 1960 version with Frank Sinatra, was a classic. But anyway, like in those movies, it was developing some kind of a tension. It was growing. It was sidetracking, making the viewer like us wondering, is this really happening? Is this not really happening? Is this really happening? Is this really happening? This movie didn't give me that notion. It made me realize this movie was nothing but was playing in his mind. Maybe because I've seen movies like this before and I knew about it, but I felt like the director could have done a little more work on trying to develop on the direction of the movie, developing a format and making the movie a little more suspenseful and tension-filled. And I didn't get that in this movie.
Listen, guys, I'm going to tell you what I liked about this film. There are a few things that really like grabbed me. There's a scene where Idris is in the bathroom and he's looking at himself in the mirror.
Oh, okay.
And let me just, before I even go into that scene, I mean, I have to say that this is a guy, Malcolm Gray is a character who is a tormented soul because he basically could not pay the price for his own actions. There are some people in life that make a decision. When you make a decision in life, you can take responsibility for it and live with yourself afterwards. This character has done something horrific that not even himself knew at the time that he could pay for this. So what happens is we see this guy fall into this abyss, this dark abyss. He's descending. And we get to this point where he's in the bathroom and he's looking at himself in the mirror. And this scene reminded me a lot of a Darren Aronofsky touch.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. This scene reminded me a lot of something like Darren Aronofsky would do. It's just straight, raw, in your face. And it's a scene where Idris is looking in the mirror and he's hearing
voices.
No, it was a ring. I believe it was a
the phone ring.
The phone ringing, I believe.
But the phone ring is an analogy for something else, which we will talk about later.
We'll talk about later. Well, when every time the phone rang, he had a flash of a dead body, people that he has killed. This man was trained to kill horrifically. And it almost looked like he took pride in his work, even though he says he didn't.
Well, that's the question, and that we don't know exactly if he did it. So,
you know. So anyway, there's a scene. That scene, those flashes come. It was a really powerful scene. If you're not gripping onto your chair, or like, I mean, this scene reminded me of like, it's up there with, you know, Requiem for a Dream, when the lady's taking those diet pills and the fridge is going after her, and she's like, yeah, it's like that. It really, I believe it really just, it's that powerful to me. It really grabs you. Also, there's a scene where his buddies are coming over to visit him. His war friends, from the Black Ops team, are coming to visit him. At the end of the scene, there's a big scuffle with one of him and his old crew members, and there's a really powerful scene when they leave, and the camera is just focusing on him, which is another thing I love about this film. Thomas Akimi really does something that I love when a director does. It's like he zooms in on a director's face, on an actor's face, and you can see the performance just pouring out, you know. And I think that's key in this film. He does it a lot, and I think this helps the performance by Idris.
But he only did that for Idris Elba, not for any other.
Yeah, not for much of any other actor, but.
But again, Idris Elba was the centerpiece, I guess, and that's why.
Yeah, but he really focused in on him, and when you do that, there's a scene where he's actually just crying. Powerful scene. I mean, just wow. I mean, like wow, man. I felt that. I felt that. You know, I felt that he was in this. He was just tormented. This guy was just the beginning of this tormented soul. This guy here, and yeah, man. I mean, those are some of the key scenes that really just stood out to me, and just you know.
To elaborate, I'm gonna probably disagree on that part. That scene was a good scene, but like I mentioned before, the first 10-15 minutes when you start getting introduced to the character, I felt and understood the character, and maybe the last 15-20 minutes of the movie, when the director wants to start winding down what the whole movie is about, you start understanding what the actual pain of this guy is going through. But we don't know if it's pain again for what he did. That's just one of my pillows being torn on the club floor, but that's fine.
It's hot in here. It's hot as balls.
Because I'm
fucking sweating right now.
Because I'm Latino heat, that's why. But anyway, as I was saying, the first 15 minutes and the last 15-20 minutes, the director did a great job with the art direction. I have to give credit where credit is due.
And let me tell you too, the action scenes were pretty damn good when they were happening. There's not that much action in this movie, but when the action was going on, except for that fight scene, the fight scene seemed to be going very well, and toward the end...
Are you talking about the pizza guy?
I'm happy. I'm so happy you reminded me of that. Merck's Pizza. Classic. I saw that. That put a smile to my face. There's actually an ad for Merck's.
Wait.
Merck's Pizza.
You see this? This is what you call product placement. Merck Pizza is also known as product placement.
It's not product placement.
Yes, it is.
Because it's not real. It's a director's.
Yes, but it's a product placement of his code name.
It's code name.
Code name, product placement.
Code name.
Okay.
The Merck's Pizza comes up a few times during the film. Put a smile on my face. Good job. Like that. You. Good. Okay,
but
so
the pizza really has to suck because he never ate the whole pie.
He never ate the whole pie.
So I'm taking a guess at
the pizza. It's iffy. The pie wasn't eaten all the way.
So.
Alright, so listen, there's this fight scene where this pizza dude comes in, and the whole fight was literally gripping. It was like you know, it was on your seat, on your edge of your seat gripping. But the problem, because I was so focused into this film, I kind of noticed toward the end of the fight, it looked a little choreographed. It started to look and feel, the aesthetics were a little off, and it started to look a little choreographed. But before that thing looked like a real brawl. I mean, it looked like one of those Bourne film, you know, Bond scuffles going on. It was up there. It was up there. Up until like the last 30 seconds, where I think the guy held the knife a little too long, and he waited a little too long. It looked like they were waiting for each other a little too long. It looked like it was a little like they were counting. I could almost see that they were almost counting their moves at that point. But then they tackled themselves down, and the scene kind of flashes to the next thing.
And that was my problem with this movie a little bit. Every time Idris Elba was introduced with a character like his former girlfriend, the pizza guy, who else? His friends,
his brother.
It didn't look like it was a smooth transition where it was like a reality aspect, but it was more like a dream. Like you knew it was a dream because of the way they just disappeared. I don't know if that was the director
intention of doing that way, but that's why I had a problem, because if you wanted the viewer to believe that he was actually having these moments of reality, talking to his friends or talking to his former girlfriend, I would have made this maybe the communication and the what do you call that word? Saturday night. I apologize. The beer's talking. So, but I felt like the every time he met any of these people, you knew it was a dream. After a certain time, it's because of the phone ring, and I think the phone ring was like, I think, and I said it to Darthbishop and his friend. The phone ring, it was like an analogy for a wake up call. Every time you heard the phone ring, he'll wake up from his dream and realize that whatever happened did not happen. Am I right or wrong?
I don't think he ever realized that. I think this guy was just too far gone.
He was far gone, but every time
I think toward the end, I think he started to realize that.
But you don't believe that phone ring was like some kind of like a wake up, like, you know, because he was an escape. What do you call it? An escape.
To be honest with you, I'm gonna be honest with you. I quite didn't get the analogy of the phone call in this film. I gotta see that again, because
I went to a therapist.
I knew when he answered the phone finally that he was talking to himself.
Yeah, but I've been to a therapist, believe it or not.
You?
Yes. And when you go to a therapist, they do have a ringer, like for 30 or 40 minutes session, and when the ring goes off, it rings. So when I heard every time the phone, like when he was talking to his former flame, his best friends, or his brother, after a certain time you'll hear the phone ring, and you knew that his session, whatever he was at that time, he had to wake up from his dream. And that's when I knew this was nothing but a dream sequence of he was having, of him thinking, if I was able to get everything corrected for the mistakes I made previously, this is what I would do. But that's the point I had with the whole movie. This part, it was too much giving away of the dream sequence. That's why I had an issue with this movie. That's my opinion.
All right. I mean, you know, I think that just spoke all my quibbles about the film. The fight scene was going good until it got off choreographed. Some of the acting wasn't on par with Idris, but that's fine because
Idris was the centerpiece.
Was the centerpiece, and I mean that. I think it was Malcolm's brother.
Actually,
the guy who's playing Malcolm's brother, I forget his name. He's from Oz. He's in Oz. He's like the Muslim guy from Oz. He's also in Lord of War. He's a good actor. He's a good actor.
Oh yeah, you're right. Lord of War.
He's in Lord of War. Yeah, this guy. He's good. He's good. But is he that good in this film? I don't know, man.
The only character I liked in this movie was the Russian guy.
The Russian guy.
He looked like if you met him, he would actually put a beat down on you.
Yeah. That guy was good. That guy was good. His teammates were good acting. All his teammates. His teammates in the Black Ops team, all those guys were like really good acting, man. And you know, I'll even go on far as to go to that girl who was in The Dark Knight, the girlfriend. She was in The Dark Knight, by the way. She was Ramirez.
I guess she's forgettable in this movie. That's
no, not at all. Actually, I want to say she actually stood out in this film. No, she was actually good.
No.
There's a scene where she's looking at the wounds. The acting was pretty damn good. She was holding it. She held it.
What do you mean held it? The landlord lady did a better acting job than the lady.
The acting didn't.
You did not laugh at that part.
Oh, it was great.
I thought that part was funny. I'm sorry.
I'm happy you mentioned that. There is a lot of humor in this film. No, let's go with the humor now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good humor.
And that was my next point. There's a lot of one-liners in this movie that made me cracked up.
A lot of good stuff. A lot of humor, which kept it light because this is a dark film. It's like I said, it's a psychological thriller. It's got a dark tone, but there is a few laughs in this film. And when they come, it's very good. The audience, they totally got the jokes and everything.
Yeah.
I totally got it. There's this funny scene where the landlord, comes in to find out what's going on, and that scene plays out
perfectly.
Yes, great.
She did the non-white thing.
She did I think the lady next to me is like, get the fuck out of there. It's time for you to get out of that room.
Because all I say